Most people assume the Bible records only one battle between Michael and Satan. It doesn't. Welcome to Elok Zone. Here's a question that has puzzled biblical scholars for centuries. Did Michael and Satan actually fight over more than one thing? Be honest. When you think about Michael and Satan, which event comes to mind first? The war in heaven from Revelation, or the mysterious dispute over Moses' body? Which explanation sounds more convincing so far? Think about that for a second. The surprising part is that the Bible describes Michael confronting Satan in two completely different settings. One takes place around the body of Moses, the other appears in a cosmic war in heaven. Yet the scriptures never directly explain whether these events are connected. That sounds straightforward, until you notice one detail. Michael is one of the few angels named in the Bible. Unlike Gabriel, who often delivers messages, Michael almost always appears during moments of conflict. The earliest biblical references are found in the book of Daniel, written during a period when the Jewish people lived under powerful empires. Daniel chapters 10 through 12 describe Michael as one of the chief princes, and later as the great prince who protects your people. Notice those words carefully. Michael is not introduced simply as a warrior. He's described as a prince, a heavenly guardian connected with Israel. And this is where the story changes. In Daniel chapter 10, an angel tells Daniel that his prayer was heard from the very first day, but then comes an unexpected statement. The messenger says he was delayed for 21 days by the prince of the kingdom of Persia until Michael came to help him. That single detail raises a much bigger question. Was this prince of Persia an ordinary human ruler? Many biblical scholars think not, because no human king could delay an angelic messenger for 21 days. Instead, many understand this figure as a spiritual being associated with the Persian Empire. If that's true, Daniel presents an unseen conflict occurring alongside human history. Empires rise and fall on earth. At the same time, the text hints at spiritual powers operating beyond human sight. But that's not the strange part. Daniel never describes Michael attacking people. Instead, he's consistently portrayed as defending God's people against opposing spiritual forces. That distinction often goes unnoticed. Then, another detail appears. Several centuries later, the short New Testament letter of Jude mentions Michael again. The entire episode is only one verse long, yet it has generated enormous discussion. Jude writes that Michael the Archangel disputed with the devil over the body of Moses. Think about that. The Old Testament records the death of Moses in Deuteronomy 34. It says God buried him in an unknown location and no one knows his grave to this day. But Deuteronomy never mentions Satan. It never mentions Michael. It never describes an argument. So where did Jude get this story? That question has fascinated historians for generations. Many biblical scholars believe Jude is referring to an ancient Jewish work known as the Assumption of Moses, sometimes called the Testament of Moses. The complete version of that specific scene has not survived, so historians cannot compare Jude's reference directly with the original account. Yet several early Christian writers believed such a tradition existed. That sounds simple, until you notice what Michael actually says. According to Jude, Michael does not pronounce his own judgment against Satan. Instead, he says, "The Lord rebuke you." That one sentence has been interpreted in different ways. Traditionally, many Christians understand it as an example of humility. Even an archangel does not claim ultimate authority for himself, but leaves judgment to God. Another interpretation suggests Jude's focus is not Michael's power, but his submission to divine authority. Either way, the passage presents Michael in a way that surprises many readers. He's powerful, yet remarkably restrained. He does not boast, he does not argue endlessly, he simply appeals to the authority of the Lord. And this is where the investigation becomes even more interesting. Why would Satan be interested in the body of Moses at all? The Bible never answers that question directly. Some scholars suggest the dispute symbolized Moses' unique role in Israel's history. Others believe the body itself was less important than what Moses represented as the covenant leader. Still others caution that Jude provides too little information to draw firm conclusions. The mystery remains. Then, something unexpected happens. The final biblical appearance of Michael is dramatically different from everything that came before. Instead of a private dispute, the book of Revelation describes a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fight against the dragon. The dragon is identified as Satan, the ancient serpent. Unlike the quiet restraint seen in Jude, Revelation presents a vast cosmic conflict. But are these two events describing the same stage of history, or entirely different moments? That question has sparked debate for centuries.